Welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I am Connor Williams and we are back once again with another 24/7 news report. As always, we start the news report videos with our headline news. And our headline news is that Everton want to sign Marco Asensio this summer. They are plotting to raid Real Madrid for him, according to Fajarez. I think I'm correctly pronouncing that, the Spanish media outlet. They've said that on their website that Ancelotti does not trust Marco Asensio at Real Madrid and is looking to get rid of the player. The 25-year-old scored 5 goals and added a couple assists in 35 appearances last season. 14 of them were off the bench. He was a regular in the Champions League and can bring a lot of experience to Goodison Park. But apparently much of this depends on if James Rodriguez leaves the club. Apparently there's been reports that Rafa Benitez doesn't like him. We knew this when they were coming. Apparently they had a frosty relationship in Madrid when Rafa was at Madrid. So, this wasn't a massive shock. But apparently he really does like Asensio and is looking to bring Asensio in if James Rodriguez leaves. I personally would quite like James Rodriguez to stay. But Marco Asensio is a very good player. I don't think he's a winger. I know it's where he plays, but I think he's too slow. I'd much prefer to see him in that number 10, the cam role, which is where I think Benitez is probably going to play him if we get rid of James Rodriguez, because he plays that 4-2-3-1. You need a number 10, and if we could be looking at getting rid of our best number 10 in James Rodriguez, so you need to buy someone to fill that gap. Asensio does have youth on his side as well. I think he's 26, something like that. He feels like he's a lot older because he's been around quite a while. But he's a very good player. I certainly don't think he'd be a winger. Certainly not a right winger. He's not got the pace or left. He's just not got the pace for it. But in that number 10 role, I think we could really see something. I think he's a bit like James Rodriguez in the fact that he brings that sort of je ne sais quoi about him. He's got that little bit of, bit of magic. He can pull stuff out. Give him a bit of space. He can curl one in the top corner. He can unlock a, devastating run with a pass. So he is a good player. I personally would keep James, go get this right back we need and then sort it out. But we'll have to wait and see. Asensio's a very good player in my opinion. Speaking of the right backs, Denzel Dumfries is no longer training with PSV. He's training on his own. According to Dutch news outlet Heidenhoven's Dagblad via Inside Football, Dumfries is set to train away from the rest of the PSV squad amid uncertainty about his future. Obviously, we were linked with him and Inter Milan have. The report states that while Dumfries has expressed his desire to leave PSV, he asked the club to continue training until a move materialises, so he clearly just wants to keep fit. Doesn't want to, sit there, do nothing, and then he might struggle to get his fitness back up. But he's obviously, been at Euros, but they were kicked out, so he's had a couple of weeks to recover. He obviously just wants to keep his fitness up. It looks almost certain he's definitely going to leave. Whether that's to us is yet to be seen. I hope so. I've heard the price is always changing, but from what I've heard, it's no more than 25 million. At one point, it was rumored to be 15, and we really need a right back. I cannot express it. I know the club were looking at him and Max Aarons. I really like Max Aarons, but he's going to cost you a lot of money. Because Norwich aren't going to give him away. They're a Premier League club now. They're not going to give him away for free. They're going to expect big money for him. I really like Dumfries as well. I've said it all the time. I think everyone does. I think we just want this done, this deal done, signed. Let's move on. Because it's for us to be quite high favourites. It's dragging on a little bit longer than I'd like. Everton are also keeping tabs on a Brazilian defender. They are linked with a move for Atletico Mineiro's defender Guilherme Arana. According to Torcedores, the Blues currently have a scout in Japan watching some of the talent on display over at the Olympics. The report goes that Arana, who plays for Brazil, has caught the eye and is having his performances evaluated further. Arana has a release clause in his contract worth 40 million, and Mineiro do not plan to let the player go for any less than that figure. I can't say I've seen an awful lot of him other than at the Olympics, because I don't watch a lot of Brazilian football. He seems okay. He's comfortable. 40 million's a lot of money though. 40 million euros, that's a lot of money. And obviously, the reports are saying we don't have a lot of money to play with due to FFP and stuff. So I think we just got to be really careful on this one. That could be, a good chunk of our budget gone. And there are certain areas I think we need to improve on a little bit more. He's not the first centre-back we've been linked with, and he's not going to be the last. Clearly that is a position that Rafa Benitez wants to sort out. Whether we do sign another centre-back is yet to be seen, and we have been linked with some, just a plethora of them, from Phil Jones to Chris Smalling at one point to Longley. We've been linked with quite a lot of centre-backs, so we'll have to wait and see what happens, whether it be this Arana or someone else. But like I said, I've not seen an awful lot of him, so I can't say if he. I just think 40 million is a lot of money. We also have the news that Everton could re-enter the race for Sporting Lisbon midfielder Matheus Nunes. According to Portuguese news outlet Record via Sport Lens, the Blues initially withdrew from the talks following Rafa Benitez's appointment, but now they could be back in the mix. The report says Everton are in the market for a new midfielder, and they could bring Nunes to Goodison Park. It's said that they want 16 million for him, which for a player of his age isn't that much money, because he's obviously young and he's got a lot of potential. 16 million is not a lot of money. I don't know if that's COVID and they're looking to offset the players, or because financially certain clubs are struggling. That's yet to be seen. He looked like, I said it when we linked with him at first, from what I can gather, he's a ball carrier. It's something we need, someone to carry the ball out from the midfield, pass it to someone who will find the killer pass, maybe even do it himself. 16 million, I think it's a good amount of money. I don't think it's too outrageous, but we'll have to wait and see. Everton are also in talks with Ellis Sims as the January window interest emerges. Blackpool are planning to revive their interest in Everton striker Ellis Sims in January. The young Blue striker is sidelined currently with a groin injury that he picked up towards the end of the season. He missed Blackpool's playoff final, but he did help them get to the playoff final. He had a great, he scored 10 times. He was having a really good loan spell at Blackpool. It looks like Blackpool are going to wait for the January so he's fully fit. I wouldn't mind him going back out on loan to Blackpool. I think he needs to go back out on loan. I don't think he can stay with the under-23s. I think he's proven that he is too good for that level. He needs to, be challenged. And they're a championship club now. I think that's a good set out, a good league for him to go and try himself at. He definitely can't just sit on our under-23s and score for fun again, because he needs to be challenged, and he's only going to improve if he's challenged. We also have the news that Everton are monitoring Preston North End youngster Lewis Lee, according to Football.London. Lee is a centre mid who joined the Lily Whites at under 14s level after being released by Liverpool. Now, after a number of impressive displays at Preston's under 18s, he's attracting quite a lot of attention from Premier League clubs. He's 17 years old. I can't tell you an awful lot about him. I don't watch under 18s football, especially not Preston. I feel like he's obviously 17. This is one that you can only judge in a couple of years. This isn't one that you'd be able to judge now if we got him. This is one you'd have to wait on, and that's the whole point of signing young players, isn't it? You see potential. Some live up to it, some don't. That's the gamble of life. But yeah, I'll be interested to see how much Preston want for him. Obviously, if he's that highly rated and they see the potential, they will value it on that. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. And finally, we have the news that Everton are in a battle to sign an American striker. Both Everton and Arsenal are interested in Schalke's American striker, Matthew Hope, following his impressive displays in the CONCACAF Gold Cup. The 20-year-old only made his US debut in the group stages and has scored once and grabbed an assist in 4 appearances in the tournament. Schalke were relegated from the Bundesliga last year, and a number of players are likely to leave the club. Despite only having 2 years left on his contract, the striker could be a steal as he's valued at 4 million by the German outfit. 4 million is incredibly cheap for a young lad who's 20. I think this is a good risk. I think it's a calculated gamble. 4 million, hopefully that would be enough, and if he's not good enough, we could probably sell him on for a you'd hope. I'm not going to say definitely, because Sandro Ramirez proved that this was tough, but you'd hope, because we signed him for so little. Even if he's not Everton's standard, he might be a lower Premier League clubs, and you could make 4 million back easy. You could probably sell him for a little bit more than that, because he hopefully would improve a little bit more. So it's worth I think it's worth a risk. I think he's having a good Gold Cup. That's not too bad. A goal and an assist. But yeah, that's all we've got time for today. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, comment down below on anything we've discussed. Would you take Hope at Everton? What about Asensio? Would you take Asensio at the Blues? Where do you think Asensio would play? Right wing, cam, left wing? Let us know down below. Don't forget you can follow myself and the Toffee Blues on Twitter. Links in the description as always. And most importantly, guys, stay safe.